I 28F am confused about my relationship with my BF 33M. We are both writers and met at a meet and greet. As we were from different cities, we started talking online and soon realized we could be a great match. I didn't want to pursue it because of our different religions. Our families won't agree to us getting married, but he said that we should still see where it goes. And I genuinely like him a lot, so we started dating. Now, he moved to Canada 10 months back and I am in India. While he was doing great here, he has not been able to find a job there, and it is affecting our relationship. He was this extremely loving and attentive guy here, but not now. Now, if I tell him I am sick, he won't even ask what happened. We just talk for a few minutes whenever we can, otherwise nothing. He also has this habit to ghost me every time things go south. For example, 2 of his friends committed suicide, and he stopped talking to me for 20 days. He could not crack an interview, so we didn't talk for 10 days, etc. We rarely talk on calls because he says the soundproofing is bad. And whenever he calls is when his roomies are gone, and he wants to have phone sex. I once brought this up, and he said that is what his love language is, and he knows I am more into small gestures. I can't be physically stimulated if I feel emotionally detached. But nothing changed. Before him, I was with an abusive guy for 6 years, and it has given me a lot of trust issues. He knows this, and now him not talking to me enough, ghosting me, and the fact that we have only met once so far really bothers me. We have known each other for only 15 months, and he has changed so drastically that I don't even know what side of him to believe anymore. I recently sent him a reel of a song in my native language that he does not understand, and it was captioned, "Don't say I love you to your Gujarati, my community GF, instead sing this." He replied with, "I can't too difficult, lol." I asked him if he can't even bother to ask the meaning. It hurt because it felt like he doesn't care. I know it's a small thing, but it has been piling up for me and we ended up fighting. I don't even know if my concerns are valid because he is in a different country, trying to find a livelihood with tight finances and a lot of stress. I mostly try to keep things to myself, but these little things bother me a lot. My insecurities and trust issues surfacing, I don't even know if I am being selfish by fighting with him for this. His behavior at times does feel like red flags to me, but given his situation, I sometimes feel like if I need to be more understanding and put my past relationship traumas aside, see him for himself. But then on other days, it just feels unfair to myself. On the other hand, since I know us getting married has a very low possibility, I feel like it is not right for me to demand from him to give me more time or whatever. And I also don't feel it right to leave him when he is low. But then I don't understand how hard it is to step out of the house to talk for 5 minutes once a while, or just ask me how I am doing. Or if I text something romantic, why can't he take 5 minutes to indulge me sometimes, if not always? Update. I wanted to give an update because things have gotten more complicated and, honestly, I feel even more lost. My boyfriend is still in Canada and still hasn't managed to find a job. I completely understand that this has been very hard on him mentally. But the problem is, it feels like our relationship has become collateral damage. He rarely checks in with me, even when I tell him I'm sick or struggling. Most of the time, our conversations are just a few minutes long. And when he does want to talk, it's usually for phone sex when his roommates aren't around. I've told him before that I need more emotional connection, but he brushed it off by saying that's his love language. For me, intimacy only works when I feel emotionally safe and cared for. But nothing has really changed since that conversation. What hurts me the most is the ghosting. Whenever something bad happens, like when 2 of his friends passed away, or when he didn't pass an interview, he completely shuts me out for weeks. I understand grief and stress, but going no contact without even a, "Hey, I'm struggling," makes me feel abandoned and insignificant. Considering my past 6-year abusive relationship and the trust issues, it left me with these disappearances cut very deep. The little things are adding up too. Recently, I sent him a cute reel in my native language, and instead of showing curiosity or effort, he just laughed it off. It seems small, but moments like these make me feel like he doesn't care about understanding me or my culture. And then there's the bigger picture. I know that because of our religious differences, marriage is practically impossible. So part of me feels selfish for even asking for more when he's already struggling. But another part of me wonders if he can't even step outside for 5 minutes to talk, or send me a kind text once in a while. Is that really a relationship worth holding on to? I don't want to leave him while he's low, but I also feel like I'm constantly silencing my own needs. Right now, I'm torn between being understanding and being fair to myself. Update 2. It's been a little while and I wanted to share where things stand now. Not much has changed with my boyfriend. He's still in Canada, still job hunting, and I completely understand how stressful that is. But our relationship feels like it's stuck in limbo. He continues to ghost me whenever things go wrong, and I've realized those silences hurt me even more than the fights. Every time he disappears, it brings back memories of my past. Abusive relationship and all my trust issues resurface. The emotional distance between us is growing. When I bring up how I feel, he says, I'm being too sensitive or that I need to be more patient because he's going through a rough patch. But at the same time, he doesn't put in any real effort to meet me halfway. The calls still mostly happen when he's alone and wants something sexual and almost never just to ask how I'm doing. I can't keep pretending that this doesn't bother me. Recently, I stopped initiating as much no long messages, no romantic texts, no pushing him to talk, and the silence from his end has been deafening. It made me realize how one-sided things have become. If I don't reach out, days pass with nothing. That was kind of a wake-up call. I'm starting to ask myself hard questions. Am I holding on to someone who simply doesn't have the capacity or willingness to show up for me right now? Am I using his stress as an excuse to accept less than I deserve? And if marriage isn't even realistically possible, what am I fighting for? I still care about him and don't want to abandon him in a tough phase. But I also can't ignore that I'm unhappy and feel neglected. For the first time, I'm seriously considering ending things not out of anger, but because I'm realizing love alone isn't enough if the basic effort isn't there. Final update. I finally made the decision to end things. It wasn't impulsive and it wasn't dramatic. It came after months of trying, hoping, excusing, and slowly realizing that I was pouring from an empty cup. When I told him how I felt that I needed more than the silences, more than the occasional crumbs of attention, he didn't argue or promise to change. He simply said he understood, and that moment told me everything I needed to know. If someone truly wants you in their life, they don't let you slip away so quietly. Ending this relationship hurts. I loved him, and a part of me probably still will for some time. But what I've learned is that love without effort doesn't build a relationship, it erodes it. I was asking for the basics: communication, consistency, small gestures of care. Those aren't luxuries, and I shouldn't have to beg for them. For too long, I convinced myself I was being selfish or too sensitive, or that I should just wait for things to get better. But waiting only left me lonelier. Breaking up forced me to confront something I've avoided. I have a pattern of giving second, third, and fourth chances to people who can't or won't show up for me. This time, I decided to choose myself instead. It's not easy. I feel the loss every day, but it feels cleaner than the constant cycle of disappointment. I don't know what his future holds, and I still hope he finds peace and stability. But I also know now that I deserve a partner who wants to share life with me, not someone I have to chase for scraps of connection. For the first time in a long time, I feel like I've closed a chapter properly. Painful, yes, but also freeing. I want to walk forward with this lesson that my needs are valid. My boundaries matter, and love should never come at the cost of my self-respect.